Hello everyone, it's Aditya Formaster and welcome to the first part of this new series. Very often I get comments of people saying, I wish I could create what you do, or I'm jealous of the houses you create, or learn me your tricks. And I've actually decided to learn you my tricks in this new series. I've decided to actually cut this series into 4 parts, or at least for the exterior of the house, because I don't think I'll go into the interior since that's not really my personal best part either. I divided this series into these 4 parts because one, I have way too much to tell you to put it into one video, and also in this way you will, if you want to know more about, let's say, the creation of roofs or how you can actually create better roofs, then you can just search for this one video and then you will know it, and you don't have to watch the entire video for just one part. So then you can just check out a certain episode to watch, and then learn how you can maybe make something look better. In this series, I'll just show examples of what I talk about and explain about actually, and I hope I will actually help you with this series. The first part of this series is actually the shaping of the house, which means the modeling, the making the walls to the house, adding the foundation, and I think this is one of the most important parts of creating a house, though I think every part is very important, but the shaping is really the basics of building and really the foundation of what you want to continue your house to look like. So I think it's important that you know how to make something look good, and you just know some tricks about how you can actually make a house look better. So my first tip is actually to always use a foundation. Especially in The Sims 4, houses on foundations just look way better. As you can see here, I add a foundation and it just makes the house look more fancy and more detailed. And I personally think that if a house looks more detailed, it's more realistic. So add a foundation, that's just an important basic actually to building a house. And also you will have to decide which style you go for before you actually start building. Basically, there are 2 styles, the modern style and a traditional style. You will have to decide which one of these 2 you will choose before shaping. And the traditional style also has some like sub-styles, I think you could say, but those will be created when you add the windows and the wall paintings. And modern is actually just modern, whether it's contemporary or, just very modern or something. It doesn't really matter. You just have to think about this before you start building the shape, because, for example, something traditional needs way more details in the shaping already than something modern. So think about that. And also, I think every day I get at least one comment of someone saying, "Well, your houses look good. My houses always look like boxes." Well, this problem is very easy to fix. Don't build a box. As you can see here, I've added a foundation and made a box. As you can see, this is just something a rectangular box. If you can't come up with a shape, just look for images on Google Images, but you can also just start shaping. Just make sure that you don't build a box. A box is boring and you just don't want that. So think about the shape you want to go for, think about the style, and then just make something detailed. Don't just make a box, but as you can see here, I've actually decided to, shape it a little bit different, add some, things to it actually, I think you can say. I don't know the word for it, but just also keep in mind what will you do with the roof already. Just keep in mind the style you're going for and how big do you want the house to be. That's very important. A big house is easier to make look bad than a small house. So if you want to start learning building, actually, I would advise to actually start with some smaller buildings and build out to make something bigger, because especially in The Sims 4, a very big house is very easy to actually make look like a very big box. And it's important, it doesn't have to look massive, because a massive house just often doesn't really look that good. So keep in mind, don't make a box and don't make something that's too big. Just keep in mind which shape you want to go for. Also, to make it a little bit more detailed, add an entrance area, which means that you have just a foundation and then just a foundation, no walls on it, but some walls around it, and as you can see here on the screen actually, and adding some stairs to it just to make a nice entrance area. You can not do this, but then you have like stairs and then bam, you have a door. It's nicer to actually have an area where you can like walk around and then you have the door. That just makes it look different and also just makes the house look better. So keep that in mind. And also think about the windows and the roof already when you're shaping. I talked about the roof already, but also the windows are very important, because if you decide to actually make an area of 5 blocks, let's say, I think I'm going to call the squares block. Well, I think I'll call it squares. That's better than blocks, because otherwise we have Minecraft. But anyways, if you decide to add an area of 5 blocks, what window are you going to add there? I personally don't think 5 is a very handy number, because it's actually it will make it look massive. So I personally go for 4, because then you can just add the best windows to it. Especially if you go for something modern, you can just add those cool large windows to it. Or also if you go for something traditional, you can just add the windows in the middle, just 2 windows in the middle, and then you have at both sides 2 just empty walls. So think about the windows and the roof when you go for shaping. So the roof, you have to just think, what kind of roof will I go for? Will I go for just a diagonal roof, a normal roof, can you say point roof? Just think about that. So yeah, also always think about the second level. So let's say you have built the first level. While building the first level, think about what you will do with the second level. Because never actually put 2 levels above each other unless you really think about it and decide to add windows to it, for example in this modern house. But otherwise, don't put 2 walls above each other without like a roof or something else between it, because otherwise it makes a house look very massive, and a massive house is often just not good looking. So keep that in mind. Just don't add 2 walls above each other, unless you like with some modern houses it is actually possible to do that, but then it's important that you use the right windows, because the windows are very important. And if you do that with a traditional house, you have to keep in mind what wall paintings you're using and also what windows you're using. So these were some of the tips I have about shaping your house. I hope it helped you. This is kind of what this series will be, and this was actually the first topic I decided to explain. And in the next part I will actually continue talking about the roofs, actually, because now we have the shape of the house, but the roof is very important too. A roof can actually make or break a house. So I actually often get comments about roofing, so I thought, I can actually add it to this video, but otherwise it might be a little bit too long, and maybe some people searching for roofing tutorials will then also just find this roofing tutorial video. So I hope you like this building trick series. Many people ask for it, and I actually enjoy making it, because I just really start thinking about what I do, actually, because I never really thought about the fact that you shouldn't add 2 walls above each other. But it's just something that when I started playing around with The Sims 4, I found out that 2 walls above each other just look way too massive. So I'd like to share all this information with you. Please let me know in the comments down below what you think of this series. And I hope you actually learned something from it. Please let me know. And good luck with building the shape of your house, and I hope to see you back in the roofing tutorial.